how does AI actually work? Okay, I'll let you read it. It's many layers of technology together to contextualize AI because, artificial intelligence, we think of science fiction. So let's move on. There's a concept here called neural networks and machine learning. They're a little bit different. So I'm going to walk through and just explain the layers. So moving along, when they start artificial intelligence, the way they were thinking of is, how do you teach a child? Okay, you show them a picture, yay, you smile, they get positive recognition, they understand. But what they did initially, the first foray into teaching machines to think, was to take pictures of cats and see, could the machine identify a cat in a picture? And they got all these people in Amazon, millions of people who were doing these jobs for 1 cent an image, to identify the cat. And slowly but surely, the machines learned the cat. You all have seen the traffic lights, how we use that tool to, as a security, are you a bot or not a bot? Where are the lights inside the picture? That's actually used by them, not just for what you think, which is, are you a machine or are you a person? It's actually to continually teach AI what it's doing. So, equipping computers with the ability to analyze large amounts of information and to find patterns. I'm going to jump for a second just because it has cats there and tell you an interesting story. I'm jumping a bit, but that's how I talk. And that is that right now, they're using the face of cats. They're taking photos of the face of cats and trying to work out, what is the cat meaning? What is it thinking? You don't think the cat has a lot of facial expressions, but the computers do, right? So we've all seen facial recognition. They're analyzing the face of cats, and I thought this was so cool, they're looking at their ears. Because if you think that a cat actually moves its ears, and now they're going another step further, they're looking at cows and pigs. And are they having sounds that they're making? Because it's not just facial, it's sounds. What is the sounds that they make when they're going to milk them, right? Is there a happy sound or a sad sound? And this is where it's going. Data models. This is how computer organizes the links. You can read it. They test it. The machine is asked to make decisions based on a model. So it says, okay, we want to look at cats or faces, right? And these answers are validated. Did it get it right? Did it get it wrong? Yes, no. Very simple, right? This is how you teach. Just like a child. Yes, no, got it. Okay. And you feed it back and say, hey, you got it right 80% of the time. All right, let's move on. Now, who knows this company, Seren? Yeah, a few hands up. Seren is one of the most sophisticated companies in the world where they develop the technology, take a rough diamond, put it into a box, scan it with lasers, and tell the diamond cutter what they can yield out of it. How many diamonds can they cut out of it? And can they get a VS and SI? It tells them all that. And when they were able to develop that, what happened was the whole diamond cutting, polishing industry that used to be all these old guys sitting there looking at stones, thinking, shifted from one country to another. It used to be all in Israel. And then suddenly India said, hang on, we can do this labor much less expensive. And the whole industry shifted to India. For those who don't know, if you are in the diamond industry, 95% of all the diamonds in the world are cut and polished in India in one city, Surat. It's mind-boggling, but that is a fact. Okay, so that's a data model. Natural language processing. This is what allows the user to communicate with AI. This voice, Siri, and all these sorts of stuff. You're talking to the computer, and it's using human speech. But what it's doing there, which is very cool, is it's actually thinking, give me a string of words, and how do I put these words together, and what could that mean? So that's a natural language model. The string is getting bigger and bigger of what it's understanding. So that's now we've gone to the next level. Generative AI. Now we're getting scary shit. Why? Read that. This is the result of components working together. Most people referring to when they speak about AI, they talk about ChatGPT, Perplexity. Who knows about Perplexity? Hands? Anyone? Okay, I got 30%. I said I got really scared. Really scared. I don't use Google anymore. You use Google. I don't use Google. Why? Because I can take my mobile phone and ask Perplexity any question, and it will be able to find the answer better. ChatGPT is great. Perplexity is a step up. Why is it a step up? And I'll explain a bit further, but I just want to tell you one thing. Because when you ask a question of Google and you get an answer, you don't know where the information it's coming from. How do you know if it's good information or garbage? If I say Carriage Works is the best location in the world to have a jewelry show, and it might come up and say, yep, it's the best location. Well, Google might do that because Carriage Works paid for a lot of Google ads, and so it came up at the top. Perplexity will give you a little number in the corner, and the number in the corner will say where it got the information from. So you can start to verify whether that's solid or not. So we're talking about the quality of information, not just information. How does it work? A computer is programmed with neural network machine learning. Next step, data is fed to the computer to create a model. Move on. Together, it forms the core of AI, and ultimately, the user makes a request. Natural language processes it, translates it. The AI uses the data model to generate the result of the request. It's really important for you to realize that the AI that we're talking about that is around today is trying to actually interpret what you're saying and then saying, what are the possibilities? Today, okay, we've recapped. Now I want to jump into what's available now. Some of the challenges that we're going to touch on. How can you use AI to gain insights into your business? That's why I'm here today. Customized chatbots to act as shopping assistants. This is really cool stuff as well. And how can you put generative AI to use in your business? I'm going to show you stuff that you probably haven't seen. Some of the challenges facing AI. So I just want to talk about some of the negative stuff first, get it out of the way, and then we can move on. So it's been facing a number of challenging issues, and in particular, things are copyright issues. Why is a copyright issue so problematic for AI? I'll tell you why. AI has gone out there and is reading every single document, every single book in the world. If I'm an author, it reads everything, every book, but it didn't buy the book. It didn't buy the magazine subscription, but it's taking the data out of it. So the people who are writing and who own, book publishers and authors suddenly are saying, hang on, it's all the data is being taken out of my material. Not so nice. Another issue, content spam. So what it's doing is it's reading through everyone's thing. It's working out everyone else's information and it's spamming. Google now have a spammy tool. If you're just repeating what everyone else is saying, they're going in there and they're going to penalize you. I don't know if some of you may be aware, there was a thing called the black box story a little while ago. It was probably early days where people were able to create these fake sites and do all these ways to optimize their website. When Google finally worked it out, all these websites that were at the top got smashed. They were like on page 10. And Google is very powerful at making a change, and you won't know it until it's too late in your business. So if you're doing something that's unethical, you're going to get punished and it will be caught out. It's like plagiarism when people copy out essays. All right. Data privacy. They're using your data. They're taking customers' information. Do you know? Do you not know? Did you give permission? This is an ongoing problem for everybody. And hallucinations. It's when AI makes something up. So hallucinations, people think of like drugs. You take drugs, which I would never know about, and you have a hallucination. AI is trying to create stuff. So where they had some really crazy things happen is that lawyers went to court and presented a court case to the judge to say, here's a court case which supports my client. And the judge went through and went, that's great, but this case doesn't exist. The guy went on to ChatGPT and said, find me a case that supports my argument. So AI made one up. AI is doing that. It's creating hallucinations. You have to be very careful of hallucinations, which is, again, why I use Perplexity, because it shows me the reference of the information, that it's not made up garbage. All right? So if you have a look at that, that's what Perplexity does. It tells you the sources, and that's really, really important. Okay? Very, very, very important. If you tell someone a number or a stat, you better know what you're talking about. Otherwise, you're going to look like a fool. So how can it help you gain insights into your business? Who here uses Excel in business? Yeah, half the people use Excel. All right. So let's show you something. Who's heard of Copilot? A few. Who's used it? A few. Some people think, oh, great, I'm going to throw everything to ChatGPT or Copilot or whatever. It's fantastic. And I would say to you, if you have a small business, you can do that, no big deal. If you have a little bit bigger business or you have information that you don't want out in the public, you need to think very carefully where you are posting your AI questions, because that data goes into the big pool of data and you suddenly lose it. So it's a bit of a balancing act. I wouldn't go crazy worried about that, but I would think about larger businesses and that, or very proprietary information. Do you really want that out in the public? Okay. So, you might be using an Excel spreadsheet, but you wouldn't necessarily jump into Copilot to do that unless you were talking to, your management team to say, hey, can I use Copilot for that? And they say, no, that's not ring-fenced to be able to get you the answers or to be safe and secure. Okay, the end of my GIA thing at Harvard, we had an amazing professor. His name was Hubert Joly. And he finished 4 days of Harvard with 3 words. that it like burned into my head. And I said, I have to share this with everyone. And this is what he said. If you are not thinking about these three components in your business in the future, you may be in trouble. Those three components are data, AI, and of course, people. So let's remember one thing. We are all in the people business. It doesn't matter what you do, you're in the people business, right? You're selling diamonds, you're selling insurance, you're selling fine jewelry, you're selling something that you want to interact with people, trust and all these things. But you have to understand how to think about what data are you capturing about your client, how are you storing it, what are you going to do with it, and then how can you incorporate artificial intelligence to help you? I have a strong belief, and it's being reinforced. It's not that people are going to lose their jobs. That's how to make your job better, how to be better at what you do, and don't waste time on crap you don't have to do, because AI can do this for you. It can speed things along. It can help you, which is why I actually every morning ask AI a question, a different question. Every morning. I have fun with it. I really do. So I'd really ask you to think about this as a takeaway. It's only 3 words, but it was like, whoa for me. This is the guy, Hubert Joly. He saved Best Buys. Best Buys is one of the big, it's like JB Hi-Fi in Australia, but it was, 20 times bigger or 100 times bigger, right? And it was a multi-billion-dollar company. It was going bust. He turned it around. He was our lecturer. And he said something which I love. He said, his philosophy is purposeful leadership, to empower people who must be the center of the business, treating profit as the outcome rather than the main goal. And I can tell you, we, in our business, that's what we do. We want to empower people. And I brought that slide in because, yes, I'm talking AI, and yes, I'm talking data, but it's the people that will make the difference. And I really love that. He blew that company up and grew it in a few years by 330%. Pretty amazing story. Okay, don't fear AI. It's a tool to improve our role. At the end of the day, we're all in the people business. Let's not forget that. I love technology, but it's the relationships, right? Last night, we saw a sense of community. People won prizes. We had a few hundred people together. It was a great experience. Customized chatbots acting as shopping assistants. Who wouldn't like to have one of those in their website, right? So we're going to have fun here. This is something that Joe over here developed, and you're going to see how it can work. So someone comes into your website, it says, great to see you, and they type in, I'm looking for a present for my girlfriend. She likes emerald cut diamonds, white gold. Thinking, and it starts to answer. Now, we've all seen chatbots, right? Like you've seen, online chat, and normally it's someone behind there typing. I mean, we use a version of that chatting, but chatbots means the computer's generating the answers. You see what the computer's doing? The AI is built into your database, and it's pulling out of your database the samples of rings that I've asked. I want to see an emerald cut diamonds, and it's giving it to me, and as I'm asking questions, it's giving me answers. AI is at the point today where you can literally think you're talking to someone, going to the database, giving you the answer, bezel set, emerald cut diamond rings. It can take you through the sales process to a certain level. Think about it. You create your online shopping channel. It's late at night. Rami Baron is sitting in New York City because Nicole is asleep. And I'm on her website looking at her beautiful Art Deco pieces of jewelry, and I start asking questions, and it's able to answer them. This is today. This is not tomorrow. Yeah, you need some people to help you do some of this stuff, but this is basically what's happening. And it's not crazy expensive either. How can you put it to use? Generative AI. Your research assistant, right? We all need a research assistant. I have a friend, by the way, who uses AI for her own personal psychologist. She decided she wanted to take AI and start asking questions about how she should deal with a family problem. You'd be amazed how incredibly accurate it is. If you don't like the answer, you know what you can tell it? Bullshit. You don't know my family. That's garbage. Okay, so let's keep going here. Research assistant, let's ask a question. Go for it. Okay, hold it there. I want to do some research for me. Act as an expert on Instagram, in social media marketing. By the way, sometimes people tell you, ask questions really nicely. Sometimes you should say, please help me. Apparently, there is fact that it works better if you ask nicely. Well, when I say there's fact, let's ask AI maybe if it is fact. I don't know. But anyway, just question everything. So there's the question. So here's the thing. Tell me 10 frustrations, 10 desires, and 10 fears that young couples experience when they're looking to buy an engagement ring. Now, don't hit the button. Okay, I want 3 or 4 from each one. So let's go. 10 desires. What would be 10 desires that people would have? Give me 1 or 2. Marley, what's a desire? Okay, I want to get married, so that's a desire. All right. Give me another one. I want a big diamond. Okay. What's a fear? What would be a fear that someone would have about engagement? Price. Yeah, okay. Give me another fear. What if she said no? Yeah, that's interesting. Okay. I don't want to be ripped off. Whoa. That's a fear, huh? All right. So we put it in. Voila. What happened? Budget constraints, overwhelming choices, quality concerns, sales pressures. I have lack of knowledge. I've got time constraints, fears, overpaying, quality. How am I going to be judged by others? Financial strain, mismatch the expectations, loss or damage. Things change, right? Just giving you answers. Like we were all struggling a little bit to think of what it is. It's giving it to us. How fast is that? I reckon it would take us, I've got my COO here, I reckon we'd be sitting down for about half an hour, writing through options, thinking about it. Let's go again. For budget constraints, why don't you write an Instagram post that said, dreaming of a perfect ring without breaking the bank? Discover our stunning collection that fits every budget. Overwhelming choices. Feeling overwhelmed by choices? Let us guide you to the ring of your dreams. Quality. Worried about the quality? Our certified diamonds come with a lifetime guarantee. Sales pressure. No pressure, just love. Lack of knowledge. New to diamonds? Our guide will help you understand better. Right? I couldn't have thought of all this stuff. And not like that. Okay, what's next? It keeps going. There's more. This is like steak knives. There's more. All right. And it did one for each of these things. Each of these desires and the fears. It gave you amazing Instagram captions. We haven't done anything much yet. It can assist you with creation, different elements of marketing campaign. Email generation, social media generation. In other words, I want to launch a marketing campaign for my jewelry business that's called Rekindle the Romance, and is based around the idea of winter being the perfect time to give someone a special piece of jewelry. I want people to be in the mood of romantic dinner, maybe in front of a log fire cabin or cold winter nights. I want to give the subject and the body of an email I can send out to all my customers, which will let them know about this new campaign for winter. I also need the captions and image generation prompts. I want the prompts, right? I want to be able to copy and paste the prompts straight into my tools, my Instagram, right? Create 10 Instagram posts, which will be posted during the month to support this campaign. You do realize, I don't care whether you're a wholesaler or a retailer, whatever you want to be, right? You all can use this. Instagram captions, wrap up love in the warmth. And you may not like it, and you realize that with all these things, you can just add another question. You might say, oh, it's not quite right for Australia. That's a bit Americanized. Suit it more for Australia. My clients, maybe you give a specific of my clients. I want to be specifically to a retail who sells engagement rings, or I want people who value jewelry, who I want them to look out for me, or I want young, cool people who are looking for a particular thing, or I want something specific to my area in this part of New South Wales. Whatever you are, you can customize, keep asking better questions and we're fine. Let's move forward. Budget. You can throw in anything you want tomorrow, like anything. You just keep putting the questions, and it's just going to keep creating captions. It's just going to keep spitting out lots and lots of stuff. All right, Joey, let's move on a bit. Let me know if you need any information. It's going to do a generation of an image. So you asked it to generate an image. Let's see what happens. Okay, now we're asking it to generate an image. We have to pre-record this a little bit because we wanted to make sure that it was going to look right. Okay, so here's the image a gift box, partially open, revealing a sparkling diamond ring inside. The scene is set on the bed of pine cones with winter greenery with a log fire in the background. That's what we asked. That's what it gave us. That image never existed. It creates the image. I know you're smiling, Robert, because you've used it already, right? Copyright-free image generation. So right now, for years in our business, we've had to pay a company $2, $5 an image. Now it creates an image. You're not paying for it, right? That's a lot of money. Okay, you're in the director's chair. Think about it. Set the scene. What do you want it to look like? Let's go another one. Create an image, close-up shot of a couple sitting at a log fire, and she's wearing a diamond bracelet because we wanted a diamond bracelet, right? It will just keep adding into the story. Acting as an expert prompt engineer. Do you know what that means? How do you write the right sentence for Google to see your posting, or Insta, or all that? If you were an expert, we're saying this to AI, what would you write? What would you do to create the maximum? Now, here's a cool one. I want you to give me a prompt to generate an image of a couple sitting in front of an open fire log cabin. The woman is wearing a beautiful diamond bracelet, and this is what it's suggesting you should be writing in there to go back into AI and get a better answer. So you got an answer, wasn't quite right. Remember, you're in the director's chair. I need help. I need a director. Richard, you're a director. Can you help me write something better? And so it writes for you better. So now you got a whole team of helpers. I mean, this is crazy. I don't know about you, but I think this is crazy. Like, I'm still gobsmacked by the result of this. All right, what do we get now? So now we got a better picture because we asked a better setup. And maybe you might like the first one. Can I tell you something? And I want you all to remember, let's say you like the first one, you like the second one. Does it really matter? How fast is Instagram? How many seconds does someone look at it? It may not be a perfect image. It may not be a perfect statement. It doesn't matter. It's content. How long does it take you to create content? Who has here a content creator? 2 full-time positions for Robert's business. Content creator. That means that with this tool, if they use it properly, they could be producing like 12 people. Agreed? Possibly. Okay. So now let's do something else. What are we doing? Is this a picture or video? So now we're asking for an expert. We're getting really, really specific. We're now really drilling down and getting better and better and better. Okay, let's run it. Composition of focus. It's just showing you how, look what it's doing. It's saying, okay, you should start thinking about the subject, the theme, the setting, the background. That's what a director would do. That's what a producer would do. They would start defining. It's telling you how you should start to think. Now, wait a second. This is feedback for you, teaching you how you should think. You're thinking like, oh, I want a picture with a woman and a bracelet. But hang on. No, you want a really good answer? You better ask really good questions, right? So this is like a loop of information back and forth. Okay, close-up shot of a couple holding hands in front of a warm, crackling fire log cabin. The focus is on the woman's wrist. Ask better and better questions. All right. Okay, so now it's starting to zoom in a little bit better. All right, let's jump a bit, Joe. I want you to look at that picture there. So now we want a video, all right, of what we just spoke about. AI, do your magic. Create the video. And there you have a video. Imagine what that would cost you as a video production to have a video like that of someone filming. Now, did you see that, Nicole? All right, let's watch it again because this is really funny. So look what AI did, okay? So watch carefully because this is crazy. And what, did you see it? All right, now wait, there's more. There's more. What's actually happening? There's a magic word. What's the word? Hallucinations. This is what AI is doing. Okay, so watch it again. Now, I don't know about you, but her legs look a bit weirdo to me too. I'm not quite sure what happens there, right? Now she poured it onto her nose and stop. There's a lamp in the background. I'm not reflecting in the mirror. I'm not sure where that came from, but it's possible, right? Okay, so AI is still creating hallucinations, which is doing some weird shit in there, all right? But my question to you is this. If you had that video and you want to use it, would you still use it in an Instagram post that lasts 3 seconds? You would. Of course you would. Or you wouldn't. Okay, maybe you wouldn't. Fine. Okay, so regenerate and say, take out these hallucinations. Fine, right? It doesn't matter. You just had a whole video production. If you had to set that up and try and film it, what do you reckon it would cost? $10,000, $15,000. I'd say that's conservative, but if you wanted a high quality, that would be fair. Can you ask it not to throw it into the nose? You probably could. Okay, let's do another one. Look at this one. So the diamond ring, right? Watch carefully, gorgeous, and suddenly, ta-da, there's the wedding thing, right? Now that looked pretty good, didn't it? Okay, there was another hallucination there. Did you see it? What was it? No, it went, I don't know how the fingers went to the hand. I don't know how that transition happened, but it happened. But, you know, now we have some people here who say, I would never use it, right? And I respect that. Oh, you would use that one. No, you wouldn't. No. That was too weird, huh? Okay, let's do another one. Okay, so, I want someone, proposing, or they're getting married and they're on The View, and that's pretty good. That looks to me like, somewhere near Bondi, possibly. And that one looks pretty good. What is a hallucination? Can you see it? What is it? The arms. She's got two on the same side. Hey, don't get in the way of details. It doesn't matter, right? It looks good, okay? We are at the cusp of the biggest change of technology ever. Mark my words. We are in crazy times. You thought the internet was wild? This is a whole nother level. And it's coming at us at 100 miles an hour. And I really believe that. And that's why I was so pedantic and so emphasized to you, data, AI, people. All right? Again, no, jump to the next thing. And we're going to just do one more thing. And the following videos are glimpses into the future of AI. They're not available, right? There's a program called Sora. It's not open to the public yet, but it's out there for developing. And I want to show you some of the stuff that it's been creating. And then I'm wrapping it up. Okay, nudies are this, it was asked the question. It's really more about looking at the information that it can generate, but here's some of the videos. Question time. Any questions? Anyone have any questions? Or I think I've probably thrown a lot at you. Sorry? You want to ask ChatGPT the questions to ask me the questions. And I'm going to take perplexity and answer you back. So I hope that was useful. I hope that was helpful to anyone. Is there any questions anyone has? Yes? No? Everyone's like a bit, where do we go next? I know. So I hope that was useful. Again, I want to emphasize at 1 o'clock, Richard's going to be speaking, which I think will be very fascinating, from the GIA. I don't know if you guys are aware, but in the natural diamond world, today, 96% of all natural diamonds that have a certificate from the GIA. Be aware of that. So we're very fortunate to have someone of this caliber here today. I hope that was useful. Those who read my article know, I finished my article with trade well. Thanks, everybody.